Greetings nerdy list aficionados, we are back with even more dangerous Arkham inmates. You all can't get enough, and while Gotham is just a dangerous place, Batman has his hands full. It's no wonder he's ended up in Arkham himself a few times, cause we have even more inmates to talk about. Now, where is Callie, you may be asking? Well, she called Ra's al Ghul, so she's in Arkham now. I'm Sasha, and these are the top 10 most dangerous inmates in Arkham Asylum, Part 4. Number 10. Calendar Man. A lot of people forget about Calendar Man, as his gimmick seemed, well, a little weak, committing crimes on specific holidays based on the holiday's theme, a motif that probably seemed less silly back in 1958, when the character debuted in Detective Comics number 259. However, over the years the character has morphed into a credible, crazed, and dangerous threat. The character got a massive overhaul in Batman The Long Halloween, where he managed to go toe-to-toe with the Dark Knight himself on a mental level, keeping him on his toes. Since Rebirth, he now has meta abilities, aging and de-aging alongside the seasons, still obsessed with the perfect themed crimes. Calendar Man showcases that with enough planning and foresight, one can be a threat, even from Arkham itself, as some of his plans have been carried out while he was still locked away. Number 9. Lockup. This character comes to us from the DCAU, that being the DC Animated Universe, the interconnected universe that began in 1992 with Batman the Animated Series and ended in 2006 with the conclusion of Justice League Unlimited. This character comes from Batman TAS, and is yet another character to make the leap from that series into the comics, a la Harley Quinn. Lockup, aka Lyle Bolton, was a guard at Arkham who felt that things were far too lax, and sets about revolutionizing it. However, his methods were so harsh they abused the inmates, and led to him being fired, which caused him to go down a path of supervillainy. As you do. That ultimately led to him being locked up in Arkham himself. The danger here is obvious. He knows the ins and outs of the system. People are already breaking out left and right and center, and now someone who worked in security there is locked up inside. Poor planning, Gotham. Poor planning. The only good thing was for a time he was content to keep people from escaping from the inside. Number 8. Jean Loring. Jean Loring comes to us from a rather contentious story arc in DC that now, thanks to the New 52 and Rebirth, is long past, but will never be forgotten. We're talking about Identity Crisis. This was a tale in which heroes' significant others are being murdered, and the heroes are trying to find out who is doing it, who has access, and why. Well, it turns out the culprit was Jean Loring, the Atom's ex-wife, who wanted to get back together with him, so conceived of a plan to murder the loved ones of heroes to get him to come back to her and protect her, even going so far as to stage an attack on herself. Once this was discovered, the Atom took her to Arkham Asylum, just locking her up with some of the most dangerous criminals while she has full knowledge of a lot of their secret identities. Atom, what are you doing? Security there is terrible. Next time an actual credited villain will be murdering family members. Number 7. Cornelius STIRK. This character first appeared back in 1988 in Detective Comics number 592. Cornelius STIRK is a serial killer who has the ability to make his victims see him as someone else. He uses this ability to get close to his victims and eat their hearts, after inducing fear in them, as he believes that he needs the fear hormones to live. The funny thing, well, not funny haha, more like funny huh, he was actually released from Arkham in his first appearance, declared sane, but then he stopped taking his meds, and it was not only back to murder, but back to Arkham. He's not used too much, but when he is, it's terrifying. He could be anyone. He's like the salt creature from Star Trek. Number 6. Charlatan. This is the tale of what happens when you have someone who gets too close to an OG villain. Don't do it. Just stop. Paul Sloan was an actor who was hired to play Two-Face in a kind of Lifetime movie. However, during the filming, the prop master switched out the fake acid for real acid, and initially gave him the exact same disfigurement, and later it was far worse. This set him off the deep end and also led to him being highly confused as to whether or not he was Two-Face or not. In the modern version, he was hired by rogues to impersonate Two-Face, and tortured by the Scarecrow till he lost the ability to feel fear at all. Driven mad, he set out to take down the villains that hired him. Well, Batman can't have that. That's his job. So off to Arkham with him. Maybe he can get them in there. Number 5. Ragdoll. So there have been multiple Ragdolls. For our purposes, we need the first, Peter Merkel, but in the New 52 continuity. Ragdoll is a villain with the ability to just completely compress himself, so he can collapse and move under things, like a ragdoll, hence the name. He uses his abilities for evil, because of course. While really he could probably end up in Blackgate, Batman comics have a tendency to put metas into Arkham, kind of the idea that their abilities make them crazier. Maybe they do. Number 4. Humpty Dumpty. This character first appeared in 2003 in the comic Arkham Asylum Living Hell. Humpty has a compulsive need to fix things. The only problem, not all the things he fixes are broken, and in the process he breaks them, causing things like subway accidents. He focuses on mechanical items that offend him in some way. This obsession lands him in Arkham, where he's actually one of the better inmates. He even fixes things for the other prisoners there, such as repairing the ventriloquist dummy. The only problem is he doesn't know what he's doing is wrong, so if he gets out, he will do it again, and no one knows what he will try to fix next. Number 3. The Dollmaker. The Dollmaker is the son of the Toy Man, who developed a complex due to a lack of affection from his villainous father, who loved other children far more than him. This set him on a quest to one-up his father, as he sought to truly hurt children with his toys. After being taken out by Supergirl, he is thrown in Arkham, because everyone is just dumping their villains into Arkham. No asylums in Metropolis, I guess. I mean, they all talk in there. This is how villain leagues get started. Number 2. The Psycho Pirate. For our purposes, we're talking about the second Psycho Pirate, Roger Hayden. The Psycho Pirate possesses a magic mask with the power to project emotions, but that's far from what makes him dangerous. Even though his powers could be augmented to great effect, so that he could even control people. No, he rose to truly dangerous prominence during Crisis on Infinite Earths, which was a major DC story event, where they decided their multiverse and characters were out of control, so they constructed a climactic event to merge the universes and kill off unwanted characters. This occurred in 1985 to 1986. After this event, the Psycho Pirate was the only person for a time who remembered what happened, which drove him mad, and led to him being imprisoned in Arkham. But he also contained the ability to bring some of those characters and universes forth, if he were ever able to become sane. He even managed to bring some of these characters back during Grant Morrison's Animal Man run. Since then, and after even more reboots, his powers are back to what they were when they started. But for a time, he could have undone all reality. But I mean, DC does that themselves anyway. Number 1. Who could it be? Well, it's Jason Todd, the second Robin, unless you're in the DCAU-verse. Jason Todd was infamously killed by the Joker, beaten by a crowbar and left in a building wired to explode. His fate left up to reader vote, which rumor has it was ultimately decided by an angry fan with his phone on redial. Later, the character was resurrected when Superboy Prime punched the wall. Yes, he punched a wall and it ricocheted across realities, changing all kinds of things. However, when Jason first returned, he was far from fine, and for a time, some felt he was far from sane. Grant Morrison's Batman and Robin run saw the character being held in Arkham for observation, after all the havoc he had wrought, killing villains, attempting to take down the rest of the Bat family during the battle for the Cowl arc. Really? Tim should never walk again after all that? But if we dealt with injuries in comics realistically, no one would be able to do anything. Ever. Dick was keeping him in there for his own safety, allegedly. But really, how safe is that? He's really lucky that Jason was just bitter and not actually insane. Otherwise, again, secrets revealed, alliances formed, people dead, which did happen while he was there. More so after he was successfully transferred to Blackgate. When he was, the inmate suicide rate spiked. A bitter ex-Bat family member with an axe to grind, a menace to villains and heroes alike. Sounds like a dangerous inmate to me. So those were 10 more of the dangerous Arkham inmates. Part 4. Just Gotham. That poor city, those poor people. Imagine the insurance rates. So of all our lists, we've got 40 characters to choose from now. Let me know who you think is the most dangerous of them all down below. 1 like equals a day off of Kelly's Arkham sentence. Thank you so much for watching Top 10 Nerd. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more nerdy lists. See you soon. Bye!